Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota, as we get ready to hunker down for an upcoming chill. But before then, we have a heated contest awaiting us in the 18th annual Timberwolves Shootout. Mike Peden here with Andrew Onenson, and the DeLaSalle Islanders will take on St. Rita from Illinois. Andrew, you had a chance to do a little bit of research last night on DeLaSalle in particular, and what should we expect from the Islanders, the two-time defending 3A state champions?
Well, Reed Travis is not going to be able to play in this game. He did warm up for the first time all season, but look for Jarvis Johnson to continue to lead this team. He's been their leader all year. He's a great athlete. You know, he's a really good ball handler. He's got a very good future. There's a lot of teams looking at him. You know, Gophers want him really bad. They're really high on his radar, so I expect him to come out and have a good game. And also Sakar Anim, is that how you pronounce it?
It's Sakar Anim, yes.
Yes, he's a very defensive-minded player. He's one of the top juniors in the state. I expect him to also have a big game for DeLaSalle.
And St. Rita, we have to admit, we don't know as much information about them in terms of background because they are an out-of-state school. But they are 19-9 last season, and they're led by Victor Law, who was ranked number 66 by ESPN in the class of 2014 and has offers from 5 Division I schools. And they include Duke, Illinois, Kansas, Michigan State, and Ohio State. Helping them out is Dominique Matthews. Scored 30 points in the first 3 games of the season. Has some D1 mid-major schools, but with more playing time with his older brother out, those offers could increase in terms of prestige.
Yeah, just to bring up Victor Law, I think he has declared to Northwestern.
So he did, okay.
Yes.
Northwestern,
so
and if that's the case, he'll be staying home at
Big Ten,
Bryant Arena in Chicago. They are led by Gary DeCesar. And there's a connection between him and DeLaSalle head coach Dave Thorson. We'll bring that up later in the broadcast, but there's a bigger connection than you might think in this lineup. DeLaSalle coming in at 4-3. Record a little misleading right now with Reed Travis out, but DeLaSalle lost back-to-back games to Findlay Prep and a game I called on Tuesday when they faced the Eden Prairie Eagles. They were up 40-30 in that game and then succumbed with a 26-7 run that the Eagles posted, and DeLaSalle could not get themselves back after that. And starting in the place of Reed Travis is Jeffrey Dobbinton, number 23. Had a few baskets, actually finished with 8 points in the post in the Eden Prairie game, but without Reed Travis, DeLaSalle is more of a perimeter team. The starting lineup for the Islanders is number 12, Jarvis Johnson. He's a 6'1 junior guard. Number 15, Sakar Anim. Also a guard, 6'4 junior, Jeffrey Dobbinton. He's a center. Number 23, 6'5 junior, Gino Crandall, 6'3 senior, and James Lawson, the forward, 6'4 senior. And St. Rita, we'll get the numbers here. It's Charles Matthews, number 1. We're getting them as they come in. Number 5, Victor Law, the player we talked about, who has apparently declared to Northwestern. Number 2, Treston Forbes. Number 23, Dominique Matthews. And number 41, Miles Carter. We are underway. St. Rita wearing the white jerseys, DeLaSalle wearing the black. DeLaSalle very familiar with this venue. Won the last 2 state tournament championships here. St. Rita with the start, rebound number 35, James Lawson. DeLaSalle with 5 state tournament championships overall in Dave Thorson's career as head coach of the Islanders. Jumper is short from Gino Crandall, and it's rebounded by Victor Law, number 5. He hands it off to number 1, Charles Matthews. So the Matthews brothers both on the floor for St. Rita.
That's got to be a thrill playing with your brother.
And they get on the board. Matthews with the score. Which one was it? I had to look away just to...
It was Charles.
Charles, unofficially, we'll give that to Charles. The Mustangs are the nickname for St. Rita, and DeLaSalle, the Islanders. They are the closest school among the Timberwolves shootout participants. Their campus is a mile away on Nicollet Island. Lawson thought about the 3, instead passes to Crandall, back out to Lawson. Johnson lines up the 3, too strong. Rebound, Charles Matthews. Looking for the steal, but coming up a little too short there was Sakar Anim. DeLaSalle, with their back-to-back losses to Findlay Prep and Eden Prairie, it's the first time in 3 years the Islanders have dropped 2 games in a row. Alley-oop, a little too strong, and Charles Matthews can't get it from Treston Forbes. Here is Crandall out to Jarvis Johnson. Johnson with the runner, that's short, and he will foul number 41, Miles Carter, on the rebound, so the first foul assessed to Jarvis Johnson. Early in this one, St. Rita with a 2-0 lead. DeLaSalle, this is their second straight appearance at the Timberwolves shootout. They played Blue Valley Northwest, a team we'll be seeing a little bit later. Did not come out on top in that one, but this is a non-conference game. So not much on the line, just some pride and a chance to showcase some top-level talent to the state of Minnesota.
Yeah, this is all of these games today have been very good for the fans to see, especially these last 2 ones. We're going to see a lot of talent. Too bad Reed could not play today. You know, he was probably hoping he could come play. You know, these are good tournaments, but
Anam with the kiss off the glass, and we're tied at 2. Sakar Anam's father played on DeLaSalle's 1988 state tournament championship team. St. Rita with the ball. Treston Forbes out to Charles Matthews. Short on the 3-pointer. Rebound Crandall. Anam looking for Lawson. Lawson couldn't handle the pass, and he's blocked by Charles Matthews, and they'll look to get a transition play going. Here is Victor Law against Jarvis Johnson. Count it! And the foul. That was Treston Forbes, I should say. They'll look to convert the 3-point play.
DeLaSalle foul on Jarvis Johnson.
Not only is this an exhibition for Minnesota, college coaches, of course, coming to scout, and this benefits even the Timberwolves staff, as a lot of players who took part in the shootout are on NBA rosters, and that includes shootout alumni Kevin Love, who played here for Lake Oswego out in Oregon. Number 24 is fouled for DeLaSalle. That is Josh Collins, and he will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, the players have a lot to play in this game, even though it doesn't count for division records. You know, there's still scouts out there. Who knows? There could be Timberwolves in this. I'm sorry about that technical difficulty. There could be Timberwolves in the stands right now watching. Who knows?
And with the one-and-done rule in college basketball, it's not uncommon for the professional scouts to get an early look at players who may make that jump after 1 year in college. Collins makes both free throws. We're tied at 4 in the opening minutes of the first half. Here's Charles Matthews. Was looking for Forbes, and he throws it away.
Charles Matthews has come on a little rusty so far to start the game. Maybe he's a little over anxious. Just slow it down, and the game will come to him. He's a great player.
And Charles, again, having to sit out a few games this year with an ankle injury. So he may be taking a little longer to get accustomed to how St. Rita runs things. As getting the rebound is Miles Carter. Foul away from the ball, and it's an offensive foul against St. Rita.
Mustang foul number 5, Victor Law.
Foul is charged to Victor Law. We play with Minnesota high school rules, so 5 fouls is the limit. And one thing for St. Rita and these other teams outside of the state that they aren't accustomed to is the timing system. Specifically 18-minute halves. Minnesota is the only state to go with halves. Everywhere else uses 8-minute quarters. For 3, off the mark from James Lawson. Rebound by Charles Matthews, but he will be called for the elbow. So DeLaSalle will get the ball. Nope. Yes.
Let's go back to that halves and quarters. You think that could play a part in this game for the conditioning of St. Rita?
They're going to have to play 4 minutes they're not used to. Bounce pass to Collins in traffic. He backs off. And will line up the 3. That's short rebound, Miles Carter. Black line is the 3-point line in the high school format, so don't mind the NBA 3-point line, although in the Creighton-Bettendorf game, as Annam gets the coast-to-coast finger roll, we saw a few players hit some triples from beyond the NBA line.
I love Annam's game. I think he's going to be a really great player. Next year, he's going to be a senior. It'll be his team.
Scramble for the ball. It's still live, but picked up by Victor Law. Poke and a steal by Annam. 1-on-1. Gets the roll. He has 6 of DeLaSalle's 8 points. And Annam is being contacted by a few Division I schools, and they include Northern Iowa, Creighton, and Drake. So the Missouri Valley taking a look at this kid. Victor Law is fouled, I believe, by James Lawson.
Jump ball, possession, DeLaSalle.
No, a jump ball was called. So clean defense by the Islanders, and they get the possession via the arrow. Good defense by James Lawson. The Islanders, without Reed Travis, as we mentioned, they will tend to favor the perimeter, and that makes shooting accuracy a major key for this group. With the drive, almost getting the roll was number 14. That is Gunnar Marr. But he could not finish, and here comes St. Rita. Matthews out to Victor Law for 3. Airballs it. Forbes is there, but he can't corral it in time, so Crandall will pick it up.
That's not really Victor's Law shot.
Marr loses the ball to Miles Carter. Actually, that was Collins. Here is Dominic Matthews finding Law. Baseline drive. Draws the foul, but that was before the shot. Actually, it was an offensive foul. DeLaSalle. Nope, the officials say he was on the line. It can be tough to tell from here sometimes, and there's so much contact, you're not quite sure what's being called. But DeLaSalle's defense flourishing in the opening minutes.
Yeah, I'm impressed. St. Rita's only got 4 points here. DeLaSalle's without their star player.
But even without Reed Travis, they have a lot of Division I talent. And they understand you can't have one player and expect consistent levels of success.
Oh yeah, this team can play. They're a really good team, great coached.
St. Rita, that was deflected. And their coach, Dave Thorson, in 18 seasons with the Islanders, he came here after an assistant coaching job at the University of Minnesota. 443, 117.
That's a pretty good resume so far.
5 state championships, 1998, 1999, 2006, 2012, and 2013. And I still have chills looking back at that 2012 state championship. With the shot, nope, that was blocked. And Forbes can't do anything with it, but it stays with St. Rita. In the game for the Mustangs, number 3, Armani Cheney.
DeLaSalle is all over the ball, swapping, stealing. They're active hands. Every time St. Rita's driving to the basket, they're always swatting at the ball. I love it.
Matthews, short, but he gets his own rebound. Can't finish though. Rebound, Dobbinton. DeLaSalle doesn't have the numbers. They were going to try to find the hole though. Annam though couldn't do it, and he loses it to Armani Cheney. Forbes, charge. Gonar Mars set himself up in time.
The coach has got to love this play by his team. Defense.
That 2012 state championship was the most memorable that I have seen at the prep level. It was a shootout with Minneapolis Washburn. It went to overtime, came down to the final possession. Really 2 transition plays. Washburn scored with what could have been the game-winning basket with 8 seconds left in overtime. And I'll finish out that in a moment. Dobbinson looked like he was open down low, but it was poked from behind by number 34 and picked up by number 10 for St. Rita. That's Brandon McRoy. Number 34 is Kalen Davis. Traveling violation on Charles Matthews. What we were seeing out of DeLaSalle, they had a similar start in their game against Eden Prairie. They were up by 9 at halftime and 40-30 early in the second half before the Eagles went on a 26-7 run to steal the victory. But that 2012 state championship, A.J. Barker was open on the right baseline in transition. Annam is open, but he can't hit the 3. Rebound, Dominic Matthews. Barker hit that baseline, Jay. It was pure, and as the buzzer sounded, DeLaSalle beat Washburn by a single point. Fouled is Kalen Davis. He'll go to the line.
Yeah, I bet the visiting, well, they'll never forget that, either team, but the losers will definitely, they'll probably, 20 years, they'll probably wake up and be like, man, that was...
Well, Washburn missed a lot of free throws in that match against DeLaSalle, and had they made even one of them, they would have had enough to win. But DeLaSalle certainly remembers that. And that was the highlight of A.J. Barker's career. We've got a timeout with 9:53 left. DeLaSalle calls it. That gives us a little more time to highlight the connections between the 2 teams. Gary DeCesar, the St. Rita head coach, was coaching St. Raymond's in Brooklyn. And one of his players was Eric Harris. Harris was recruited by Thorson when he was an assistant at Minnesota to the Gophers. And Harris was in the starting backcourt with Bobby Jackson when Minnesota made what is now a vacated Final Four run in 1997, but we can only control so much.
At the time, that was like the state, you know, the Gophers Final Four, man, it was so magical.
And Gary, before taking the current position at St. Rita, was an assistant coach at Richmond, home of the Spiders and DePaul, who I believe are in the Big East 2.0, as I call it.
I believe so. In the Big East 2.0.
Well, same conference, just new members. Davis splits there. And it's an 8-5 score. Actually, he made both. That's right. It came out of a timeout call. Crandall. Drive, kicks out to Annam. He attacks from the baseline and scores. Annam with 8 points for the Islanders. He averages 17.3. On the run, but short is Cheney. Dead ball rebound to St. Rita.
Annam can finish. He's really good around the rim. He knows what he's doing when he gets that ball. He's a very good scorer.
DeLaSalle has a pretty short rotation as well. They played just 6 players in their game against Eden Prairie, so fouls are going to be key. Dominic Matthews missing the 3-pointer. Rebound, James Lawson. DeLaSalle does not want this to be too ticky-tack, too touchy, and find players in foul trouble. They want a clean game. Crandall in traffic, loses the ball to Victor Law. Law, bounce pass, over to Cheney. Cheney can't get the roll, and Dominic Matthews couldn't time the rebound properly. Crandall is open on the other end, yes! And
Great dish.
Crandall with his first field goal. Crandall averages 13.9 a game, and St. Rita will call a timeout. St. Rita is the third Catholic school from Chicago that DeLaSalle has played since Dave Thorson took the head coaching job. They also placed DeLaSalle in Chicago and St. Leo in that time.
All those high school teams in that league over there, they all can ball, they all can play. So that's really impressive for this to be the third different team in his tenure.
And DeLaSalle with a very rich athletic history. We talked about the basketball state championships. The girls have won the last 3 state tournament championships in Class 3A. The football team has made state several times.
It's a very prestigious school for sports.
And a lot of alumni speak highly of Thorson and the rest of the DeLaSalle family. Victor Law, runner is off the mark. Dead ball rebound to the Mustangs. 8:22 left in the first half, and the Islanders have a 12-6 lead. Law to Cheney. Cheney surveying the field. Guarding him is Josh Collins. He works off the screen, but that doesn't pay off as he has James Lawson to deal with. Forbes on the drive, no, and DeLaSalle is bottling up St. Rita. They're sending 1-2 guys on the shooter at all times, and St. Rita can't find any openings.
Yeah, they have a clear plan in today's game. Suffocate when they drive to the rim. I love what they're doing on defense. Their coach he couldn't be more impressed. I know he's loving it right now.
For
Hopefully.
3. No, that was Charles Matthews on the attempt. Rebound Dobbinton, but Adam was a little hesitant to go off and running, and DeLaSalle throws it away.
That was a really good rebound, and it was a good thought by DeLaSalle to try to push it up court. You know, it was just a little too much.
But the officials say it was deflected off a St. Rita player, so they keep it. Marr back in the game. Dobbinton finds Lawson. Lawson guarded by Charles Matthews. Crandall was a key contributor in last year's DeLaSalle team that won the Class 3A state championship. They beat Austin in the final to hoist the trophy. A much more dominant win than their game against Washburn, but still a very ecstatic win for the group. Jump ball, St. Rita with the possession arrow.
Good defense by St. Rita, swarming to the ball. Help D. That's how you get the possession arrow.
And even though the Mustangs have struggled with DeLaSalle playing a slower tempo, again, not having Travis, so not as many options available, the Mustangs are only down 2 possessions.
Yeah, for as sloppy as they've played, yeah, they're only down by 2 possessions.
To get back.
No, it does not.
That was Charles Matthews scoring on the runner. Holy cow! Adam was in the right place at the right time. And he's up to 10.
Forbes went flying into the stands trying to save that ball. It was a good hustle effort by him.
You can't fault the Mustangs there. Adam just happened to be in a good place. Missing the runner is Cheney, and the rebound by Gonar Marr. In a very quick-moving game.
It was a good blow-by Cheney. He got by him and just didn't. Nobody really cut to the basketball. He couldn't really get no help. Had to force a shot.
Lawson inside to Annam. Kicks back out. Crandall for 3. Bullseye.
That's what they want. They want to hit those perimeter shots. Leave them open, they say.
Perimeter shooting will be vital to the success of the Islanders. In their 58-44 loss to Findlay Prep from Nevada, in a game played at the Court Palace in Mitchell, South Dakota, they shot just 14%.
Ouch.
St. Rita turns it over. And in the game against Eden Prairie, they struggled to hit their shots in the second half, while the Eagles were able to get inside a little more frequently. This is the third out-of-state opponent DeLaSalle has faced this season. Findlay Prep, as we mentioned, and Sioux Falls, Washington from South Dakota in a holiday tournament at the Corn Palace.
You talk about the Nevada team. They wouldn't have. That's not Rashad Vaughn, is it?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
that's right. He is at Findlay Prep now. That's right. He left Cooper. I was wondering why that sounded familiar.
Yeah. Wow. I would have.
Marr in trouble, but he draws the foul. He'll shoot free throws. DeLaSalle's other loss this season came against Apple Valley, again without Reed Travis, a 73-63 in a battle between the 3A and 4A state champions. You'll see Apple Valley later against Blue Valley Northwest. Marr gets on the board.
Victor Law returns.
These two schools, it's the first time they've played each other, but it's not the first time their players have faced each other. Travis, Jarvis Johnson, Lawson, and Annam played against St. Rita's Victor Law and Charles Matthews at the Nike EYBL Summer League. DeLaSalle participating in the Howard Poly League, one of the most prestigious summer leagues in the country.
And the AAU team, I love watching that team play. They go out and just like an all-star game.
And one reason why they are so fluent and so dynamic as missing the three-pointer is Charles Matthews. The Howard Poly AAU team, they also take part in the Pro City Summer League. It's an amateur league where a lot of overseas professionals and former college players play a few summer ball games, and the Howard Poly players go up against the other 7 teams that consist of pro and former top-level college players.
You gotta love that, putting your high school kids to the test.
And the high school kids, they rarely win those games, but that's not the point. The point is to get them the conditioning that they may not see elsewhere.
Oh, and they gotta love playing those games against the big boys, the grown men.
And it's also notable because it's the first opportunity that fans and coaches have at scouting the new Gophers recruits who all take part in that summer league.
That's got to be very thrilling for everyone involved.
I was involved in that for a few years, and there was always a lot of talent. Traveling violation on Charles Matthews, one of them a DeLaSalle alum who was a part of the 2006 state tournament team, and that is Teddy Archer. He would later win an NCAA Division III championship with St. Thomas, and currently overseas, and now is hosting a Euro basketball camp to get professionals who may not have the NBA contracts a chance to land overseas deals where the money is pretty good.
Well, good for him. You know, he's still out there involved in basketball, doing something really good for it, might I add, you know, helping people out.
And a lot of alumni on the DeLaSalle coaching staff as well, and they include Quincy Lewis, who also played for the Gophers.
I have his autograph on a hat. He was a great ball player.
Maybe you can go say hi to him after the game is over.
Hey, do you remember me?
Islanders up 19-8 with 4 minutes to play in the first half, and there is the style of ball that they're known for. Against Austin, they cemented that championship partly because they killed the clock, which is legal. There's no shot clock, but they end up losing the ball, but not for long. James Lawson is there to recover it. Austin fans weren't happy, but the Packers were in a 2-3 zone and refused to get out of it. Well, you're just daring DeLaSalle to kill clock in that instance.
Exactly. You throw a zone out like that all game.
They'll just lay back.
Exactly.
On a steal, and the finish. James Lawson with the score. Gino Crandall with the assist, and the Mustangs call another timeout. With 3:26 left, the Islanders are up 21-8 and have led since early in the first half. St. Rita got the first basket, but that's the only time they've been in front.
Yeah, DeLaSalle has put their foot on the pedal, and they haven't let off. St. Rita has just come out kind of flat. Charles Matthews kind of, you know, I don't know if he's anxious, maybe if it's his ankle or what, but he's really too fast right now with the ball. He's got to sit down, give him a couple of minutes.
And that last scoring play by the Islanders involved 2 Division I recruits. We know about Reed Travis. He's going to Stanford. Crandall is headed to North Dakota, the team that will get a nickname next year, I believe. And James Lawson, who is headed to Sioux Falls in South Dakota.
And DeLaSalle, they're loaded even without their star player. That's got to give a credit to their coaching staff and you know, I mean, if they can come out and play good basketball still against top-notch teams, it's a very good team.
Well, they understand that depth is a virtue. Tristan Forbes on the drive, no, and how many times have we seen that out of St. Rita? They go attack the paint, and instead they get the paintbrush on their face.
It's like that all game, and the point guards are getting by DeLaSalle, but there's no action to the rim. Nobody's really cutting, so it's basically I get by my guy, and I have to go to the rim to meet another 2 guys, and St. Rita needs to move more. Their players need to move to the rim more, do more cutting.
That's number 24, Chris Williams. Another steal by the Islanders. James Lawson picks it up. And you might be hearing Dave Thorson's voice. He is one of the most vocal coaches in basketball, and if you put him and Faith Johnson-Patterson together, as Annam is blocked on the drive, but he finds an open Collins. He misses the 3-pointer, though. Ball still live, and another offensive rebound to James Lawson. DeLaSalle will reset the offense. To finish up that story, you put him and Faith Johnson-Patterson together, they would collectively, as Annam got contact from Carter, but no foul called. Here is Dominic Matthews. He loses the ball. Good defense by Lawson. You put Thorson and Faith Johnson-Patterson together, they would likely have the top mark for highest decibel level.
And you probably hear them outside the Target Center. So,
but they're very vocal coaches, just a part of their style. And their vocal cords, you can imagine, have built up in strength over the years. They still hang on to their voice after a game. But they're very enthusiastic coaches.
Obviously, you know, he must be doing something right, you know, vocal or not, you know.
And he's just as energetic as the players can be when they win. Here is Cheney on the steal. He can't get the runner, but the putback by Charles Matthews. He's up to 6 points. Let's see if that gets St. Rita going.
It's a very good tip back. That's St. Rita's finally moving to the basketball. moving to the rim. Charles Matthews got that offensive rebound putback. That wasn't happening earlier in the game. Their players were not looking to go to the rim for the follow-up offensive rebound.
St. Rita hit with a foul. They had 2 to give. And again, with a game of the pace that we're seeing here, a slower, more methodical style, fouling is less of a concern. You're not going to see too many penalty shots.
No, you're not. DeLaSalle's playing Patriot football, basketball. They're milking the clock. That's exactly what you want to do when you got, you know, when you don't got your star player and you got to hit down your perimeter shots. Don't want to get fouled. That was a great take.
Annam draws the blocking foul. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. 10 points for the junior.
I love his game. He's looking to score when he gets the basketball. He's a fearless finisher. When he gets by somebody, he'll look to take it into the rim every time.
And naturally, a lot of folks want to see Reed Travis because of his talent and his pedigree going to Stanford. But in the interim, where other folks have had to fill in, I think this is a great platform for folks like Annam and Jarvis Johnson to demonstrate their skills and their excellence in the sport of basketball.
Yeah, they want people to know that it's not, you know, they can play too. They can ball. And Annam's showing everyone right now he can ball. He's got 12 points, I believe, already so far.
Well, is what I have unofficially.
unofficial. It's more points than St. Rita, so I say he's balling out so far today.
1:11 left in the first half, and a foul that will go against Josh Collins. DeLaSalle had 3 to give.
Islanders foul Collins, his second.
Wins for the Islanders this season include Blake, Osseo, View Park, and Sioux Falls, Washington. Law drives but can't find a lane. He'll back off. Cheney out to Charles Matthews in traffic. Nothing. Scramble for the ball. Charles Matthews came up with it, but his body was out of bounds, so St. Rita turns it over. And with 49.5 seconds left, we want to remind you that at halftime we'll have Jeff Williams with a sideline interview, and joining us in the booth is Leah B. Olson, who is the broadcaster for state tournament basketball here on Prep 45. Dobbinson finds Crandall. Yes!
Good dish by Dobbinson. Good cut by Crandall. Great play.
On the floater, Matthews can't get the response. But a rebound, no putback from Kalen Davis. They finally do come up with it, though. Kalen Davis puts back his own miss. 10 seconds left. Plenty of time for the Islanders to run a play. Ball live, though. Crandall has it. And he takes a hit from Armani Cheney, and St. Rita was in the penalty.
No, you don't want to do that.
And DeLaSalle will get a chance to score points before the half is over. 1-on-1 situation. Gino Crandall averaging 13.9 points per game. He has 7 points here.
Crandall at the line, shooting 1-1.
Not the way St. Rita wanted to play this first half. I can guarantee you that. They've only...
Crandall misses. St. Rita has time. Forbes, that's good if it goes. Yes! Forbes beats the buzzer. And St. Rita down by 10, but that gives them a little psychological boost. And remember, with the style of play DeLaSalle has exhibited so far, St. Rita's not that far behind. They could go on one big run and take the lead, but right now DeLaSalle is up 25-15.
Yeah, it's a very good first half by DeLaSalle, but they came out that way their last game, and the second half they didn't do what they should have. So hopefully they can continue what they have done this first half, and the Islanders can come out with a win for their fans here.
DeLaSalle hoping to stay above the 500 mark, and Jeff Williams is on the floor right now with the St. Rita coach. Jeff, let's take it to you.
Coach Gary, low-scoring game. You're down by 10. What's going on here in this first half?
Make some shots. We got to stay away from the sidelines and the baselines, and you know, our guys are playing hard. There's a little rust, I guess, and you know, travel and not.
Two nationally ranked players in Victor Law and Matthews. What do you have to do to get them more involved in the second half?
They got to run up and down the court and play.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Good luck. Back.
Thank you, Jeff, and we apologize for that situation, but we're going to bring in Leah B. Olson now, who has been witnessing some of the talent so far in this Timberwolves shootout. And Leah, thank you for stopping by. Your impressions of the 18th annual Timberwolves shootout?
As always, one of my favorite events here at Target Center. Jeff Munichie does such a great job bringing these teams in. It's fun to see teams from out of state. It's fun to see the best in this state. In particular, that second game, fantastic to watch.
Now, you were a member of the Timberwolves staff, I recall, in the first shootout back in '95. Do you want to share maybe some of the changes? I know we've expanded, included many teams since that time, so it's a So your changes from the first shootout back in '95 when it was just one game to a 4 or 5 game showcase.
Well, I think it's really improved. The level of talent that has come through here over the years, the big names. I think every year this is kind of the place that people want to be at this time of the year, which is always a good thing. But yeah, as I said, I think the Timberwolves, Jeff Munich, just do an excellent job at making this exciting for local fans to see the best of the best.
Now, do you remember any of the discussions that went on or from that first shootout and how that formed, and just how responsive were people of this concept, as the Wolves were still a few years into their history, but not having any event like this to their pedigree at that point?
Yeah, very new, and I don't think people really knew if it would work, how big it would be, being that it was high school. Would people want to come down? And what they found out is people really liked over the years watching Minnesota teams go up against the best talent across the country. Gives you such a great awareness of where we kind of stand. And as Minnesota basketball over the years has gotten so much better, it's been really fun to see them go against, you know, the great Chicago teams and teams from out east, and as we saw, great Iowa teams as well.
Any moments that stand out for you at this event that you're able to share from this 18-year history?
Well, I'm going to talk about today. The three-point shooting was out of hand, and
the Creighton-Bettendorf game.
Yes, exactly. Really fun to watch, and I love seeing high school basketball at this level. Really well-played game. Defensively, both teams are really strong, and the three-point shooting absolutely outstanding. Just really fun for people to watch.
And here you have a contrast in style, a slower tempo between DeLaSalle and St. Rita, but a strong showcase of defense.
Yeah, you know what? That's what I love about DeLaSalle. I can watch them all the time because of the way they play defense, and that really comes from their head coach, Dave Thorson, and how he teaches the game. And I love if you watch him during the game, you know, it's 25-15, but you would think it was tied and it was a championship game, the way he's sweating and yelling and going crazy. So he is always fun to watch, and his teams are always so well coached.
And he's just as emotional when they win. I recall last year when they beat Austin, he brought his seniors over, and he almost didn't want to let them go. He was so happy for them.
Yeah, I feel like when I watch his teams, you learn a lot about basketball. He is one of the most well-prepared coaches that you will find in this state. He will know every play that the opposing team runs and will be prepared for it before the game. So it's really fun to watch that.
Now, there are several hundred schools in the state of Minnesota, but how does this kind of help you prepare for your state tournament assignments in March? I know it's a little early to be picking favorites or contenders at this point, but you have a 12-game slate every March, so how does this get you ready for that kind of assignment?
Well, the one thing I've learned from doing the state tournaments is that you have to follow the teams throughout the year. You can't come in a couple weeks before and go, let me go around and see all the teams. So this is just a great day for me to sit at Target Center and watch the teams come through, and some of the teams that we're, you know, assuming that we'll usually see at Target Center, or where the boys tournament will be played this year.
It will be Target Center. The girls, I think, are moving to Williams.
That is correct. So I find it really beneficial. It's just kind of fun. Obviously, a lot's going to change by the time we get to the tournament, but you like to see who's playing, how they played with the injured player, how the team forms. So then when they get there, you have some perspective of where they've come from.
Now, one element that has changed over the years is the availability of broadcasts. Prep 45's been around for a while. They post regular season games as well as the tournament, and you've kind of witnessed this transition because your games are not only on Channel 45 but online. So what have you noticed with the online access, and how has that changed the game for coaches, fans, and media?
Well, I just love the fact that I've had people across the country say, oh, I got online and watched the game. And that just was never able to happen before at the high school level. So the access to these games is so much better. And it's more fun. You have family and friends who are all over the country, and they're still able to watch you in what would be your biggest games of your career. So I'm just impressed. I think 45 TV just does a fantastic job with their broadcast. How many broadcasters they bring in, the effort that they put into it is huge. It's not something that they overlook at all. So it's just something that's really fun to be a part of.
And where do you see perhaps that and this shootout event itself going forward? It's an annual event and always a big deal, getting the top teams. So what should we expect in the years to come?
Well, hopefully better play. I think you're always looking for the game to raise to another level. I think what we're seeing on the court here today is great basketball, but I think you can always increase that play. When you do that, you get more fans, you get better environments, you get, and then with that, sometimes you're able to add broadcasts at a higher level as well. So I see it growing. I think there's a huge interest in high school sports right now.
And finally, anybody you want to say hi to that will watch this online or on TV?
Oh, who's out there that would watch this? Maybe one of my kids, Jada or Will. They're big sports fans. But yeah, I just want to say hello to everyone. I hope you're enjoying the broadcast, and what a fun day of hoops.
Leah Bielsen, thank you very much, and I promise I won't bug you again until March when you go on the mic.
Never
for
bugging
Channel
me,
45.
Mike. Always a pleasure. All right, take care.
Thank you, Leah Bielsen. We're just about ready to start the second half. Jeff Williams will have a report for us as DeLaSalle has a 25-15 lead over St. Rita. And let's take a look at the first half numbers if we're able to before we start the second half. Sakar Anam with 12 points, 5 of 8 from the field. Gino Crandall, 3 of 5 with 7 points. Look at the turnovers. St. Rita, 17, DeLaSalle, 9. That is a huge difference, Andrew Ronenson.
Yeah, that sloppy basketball is gonna come back to hurt you. Hopefully the snow sluggish is not rubbing off on the St. Rita basketball team. They can come out in the second half and, cut that turnovers maybe down to below 8, 7. So finish the game with 25. You might have a good chance to win this one.
And that makes rebounds inconsequential. 21-14 is the advantage for St. Rita. But if the Mustangs are able to find some lanes, that is going to be crucial that DeLaSalle perhaps boxes out a little more and prevents the offensive rebounds, as the Mustangs have an 8-2 edge in that mark.
Yeah, so far, St. Rita has, even though they're down 10, they have picked it up a little bit, on the offensive, you said offensive glass. They're running to the rim whenever their player misses a shot. Their coach must have, I can imagine, he must have got on them and said, get to the rim. I want at least 2 jerseys to the rim when we miss, because we're getting killed out there on the glass. And it's actually paying off for them. They're only down by 10, that's not many points.
And remember, in the Eden Prairie game that I covered earlier this week, DeLaSalle was up by the same margin, and then Eden Prairie went on a 26-7 run. So it's going to be important for DeLaSalle to keep making those perimeter shots. Again, no Reed Travis, so you don't have the excess of inside choices that you would normally have. So they want to make sure they can hit from the outside. St. Rita closed the margin to 10 on a buzzer beater triple from Treston Forbes. But not a whole lot to speak of in terms of scoring. Forbes has 5, Charles Matthews has 6, Kalen Davis has 4. Everyone else has goose eggs. And the field goal percentage heavily favoring, well, not quite heavily, but DeLaSalle with the edge there too, 39-24 in that category. So we resume action. DeLaSalle will get the ball to start the second half. They're wearing the black jerseys, St. Rita wearing the white, and as we mentioned, DeLaSalle very familiar with this building as the state tournament is hosted here.
And they'll look to come back here for their 3rd state appearance later in the year.
And could easily do so. Lawson, no, but the putback by Crandall. And Crandall's up to 9. St. Rita losing the ball. What's impressed me so far about DeLaSalle is how well they're playing, even though only 2 players are really contributing on the scoring column. We haven't seen anything out of Jarvis Johnson yet, and he's one of the top-rated D1 recruits.
That's very surprising. They're up by 12, and Jarvis Johnson hasn't really been a part of the game, but they're just playing really good team basketball. They're showing you know, people that they can play team.
Mustangs with the steal. It's Dominic Matthews, no. But cleaning it up is Brandon McRoy. He gets on the board. And it's a 10-point game. Islanders looking to stay above 500. Annam on the baseline. Backs off. Lawson over to Jarvis Johnson. And Gary DeCesar, not any less vocal than one of his old colleagues in Dave Thorson.
I love vocal coaches. I don't know why. They're warm.
But I can understand why so many of them don't want to be mic'd up during games.
No. You don't want your kids hearing anything coming out of them.
In some cases, your jacket might get tossed off too. You know what I'm talking about? I'll explain in a moment.
No, I'm laughing though.
It's a funny story.
DeLaSalle is sticking to their game, you know.
And St. Rita playing the zone. Don't forget Bobby Knight's chair while we're at the items that have been discarded. But St. Rita playing in the zone, and that's the formation DeLaSalle wants.
Yeah, they want the zone. Give us the zone so we can, you know, just keep passing.
So we can play 10-minute possessions. Maybe not that long, but they want to eat up clock.
Yeah, they get the point.
But St. Rita eats up a steal. Dominic Matthews with the finger roll. The jacket toss happened in the 2012 WNBA Finals in Game 2. Cheryl Reeve didn't like a call or a no call on Waylon and proceeded to toss her jacket.
That a girl.
And if it wasn't for Jim Peterson putting up a block, Reeve might have been tossed out of the game. But JP put himself up as the brick wall. Jarvis Johnson gets on the board, and Johnson breaks through the scoring wall. Another timeout for St. Rita.
You can see why Jarvis Johnson, he's got a very good sweet stroke. His shot really can't be blocked. I love watching him play. He got to get it going though.
And his vertical is equally impeccable. Johnson is the younger brother of Tyshana Johnson, who was on DeLaSalle's girls team that won 3 straight state championships. And some of you may know his story that in 8th grade he suffered a heart attack that was almost fatal, but he recovered from that incident. And he has 2 state championships to his credit. And it's old news now for those in the know about basketball, but considering the events, considering what might have been for the junior, it's remarkable that he was able to succeed in the way he has. There were some who thought he may not be able to play the sport once he recovered from his injury.
He's you said an 8th grader and heart attack? That's unbelievable to come out and, you know, have the kind of will that he has, and I'm still going to go play basketball, and not 2 state titles later. He's an inspiration for a lot of kids.
Not to mention all the colleges that are calling his name. Very great kid, though. No sense of ego about him, not conceited at all. He's very mellow and very appreciative of the skills he's developed. Although he will admit that in a one-on-one with his sister, as St. Rita's hit with the offensive foul, he would beat her. Although Tyshana Johnson is doing quite well at Iowa State, they're ranked 14th in the country, and Tyshana Johnson has played an integral role for the Cyclones.
Yeah, so I don't know if his statement is all that accurate.
Jarvis can dunk. He has that on Tyshana. Beyond that, I don't know if I want to place a bet on that matchup.
That's his big sister, man. Come on.
Family very close-knit, though. Jarvis Johnson's aunt is Faith Johnson Patterson, the head coach of the girls team.
So they got the basketball in their DNA.
And Faith Johnson Patterson, before she won the 3 titles at DeLaSalle, as Charles Matthews gets the rebound off the Jarvis Johnson miss, she won 5 for Minneapolis North. Getting the bank is Tristan Forbes. He's up to 7 points. It's an 8-point margin as the Islanders lead the Mustangs, and they've led, as we've said, since the 4-2 mark early in the first half. Wide open three. Jarvis Johnson short though. Dobbinton with the offensive board. Clean block by Miles Carter. He keeps it. Annam on the attack, and he draws the foul. He'll shoot 2.
Good hustle by DeLaSalle.
They're deceptive that way. There are some teams, you know, they're just going to play slow. They're not going to attack at all. They're just going to wait patiently. DeLaSalle not afraid to push if they see a favorable formation. And I'm up to 13 points.
Victor Law returns for St. Rita.
And one element DeLaSalle emphasizes heavily in their programs, on their website, and in other publications is the high participation of multiple activities, as Anna makes both free throws. Many of their students take part in more than one sport or activity. Some specialize, but last year, DeLaSalle was the section academic champions, and 10 players on this year's roster are currently honor roll students.
You gotta love seeing that. Not just a really great team, but they're smart also. So that they have knowledge of the game. That's why they're so good at beating the zone.
That's why Reed Travis has a chance to go to Stanford, one of the top academic institutions. St. Rita with the steal. Tristan Forbes scored the last basket for the Mustangs, and Dominique Matthews will get the finish on this one.
Dominique Matthews.
Johnson on the run, evades the block. 1-on-1. Drive too strong. Victor Law with the rebound. He draws the foul.
That was a very good rebound by Law. He wasn't giving that ball up. Maybe St. Rita, they're making a run here. They're only down by 6 points. Blink. Did you blink?
Not yet. But as we said, DeLaSalle dominant in the first half, but they don't build up large leads, so they have to keep establishing their presence through the full 36 minutes. And drawing the foul is Kalen Davis. He'll shoot 2.
Talked about those offensive rebounds, and that's exactly what St. Rita is doing impressively right now. They're all over the offensive glass.
DeLaSalle calling a timeout as their 12-point lead, I believe, is now trimmed to 6. DeLaSalle began the season in the top 20 nationally. They were the top-ranked team in Class 3A, but again, without Travis, they've dropped a few games. When they get him back, DeLaSalle probably the favorite to win 3A again. But 4 starters overall were on last year's championship team, so a lot of continuity regardless of the injury to Reed Travis.
Yeah, and that plays a really huge part when you're missing a key player in your team, that the other players around the team have played with each other. They know who can do what and who's going to be where when I need them. So that's why they're still continuing having success even without their top player.
And we spoke of the academic excellence of the Islanders. DeLaSalle is a college preparatory school, so the focus is to get their students ready for the next level. Whether or not athletics are involved is up to the students, but they pride themselves on getting students ready for higher education. And I have not met a single DeLaSalle student or alum that does not fit that description. Davis at the line. He had 4 points in the first half. Bumps the figure up to 6. And it's a 4-point margin. St. Rita, can they mount a comeback akin to what Eden Prairie did on Tuesday against the same DeLaSalle group? We'll find out in 13:25. Crandall look for a hole. He's double teamed, but that leaves Annam open, and he draws the blocking foul. There's the vision of DeLaSalle spotting the open man.
That was a very good cut and pass.
And that puts your team's top scorer in this game, the player most in rhythm, at the line. to add to his total. Annam with 12 points in the first half, 2 so far here.
In the first half, he was, he really couldn't be stopped. He missed, 3 shots? He was everywhere. Very good finisher.
Annam has made the last 6 points at the charity stripe, and DeLaSalle pushes the lead back to 6. Preston Forbes up and under, will have to settle for free throws. Forbes had 5 points in the first half, including the buzzer beater 3 to end the period. Your impressions of St. Rita throughout this game? We've been talking a lot about DeLaSalle, only because we're from Minnesota, but what do you make of the Mustangs in their visit here?
Well, I'm very impressed how they come out in the second half. Of course, the first half was a little turnover prone for them, and they didn't, maybe they're, they were a little anxious coming in here, but I'm impressed of how they responded. They're a really active team. They all go to, you see the foul right here.
Actually, that was a goaltending call, so Annam will get the 2 points.
But back to
the block came while the ball was coming down.
St. Rita, they're all, I'm really impressed. They're well coached. They all running the basketball. And I expect this game to be, if not a nail-biter, then not a blowout. But if it's not a nail-biter, then I got somebody, 10 points, winning by 10 if it's not a nail-biter here.
Charles Matthews with the drive. Most surprising, though, Victor Law, the Northwestern recruit, remains scoreless. One reason why DeLaSalle has held on to their lead.
Yeah, Victor Law is a really talented player. St. Rita would love it for him to get it going. They're only down by 4, and he hasn't even got it going, so.
2-2-1 formation from St. Rita. This plays into DeLaSalle's strategy. Here is Collins working the baseline. Almost lost the pass intended for Crandall, but they recover, and they'll reset. And DeCesar yelling, "Stop resting, get on your feet," to the St. Rita players. It's quiet enough where you can hear what the coaches are talking about.
And I actually
Annam open, got it. The high-low play pays off.
Good cut by Annam.
And now we hear Dave Thorson yelling to his team, "Get in your stance."
Almost stolen by DeLaSalle there.
Matthews gets the roll. Wasn't quite sure what to do, and I think he faked the pass. Whether or not he faked himself out, he scores, and that's the important thing for the Mustangs. Crandall double team. He loses the ball to Dominic Matthews. St. Rita has numbers. Matthews can't get the roll. Dead ball rebound to St. Rita.
A very great play by Matthews. He's always looking to score. He's never really, I don't know if you can tell he's a pure scorer. He's not really much of a passer, but he's a good take by him, good steal. Great play by St. Rita.
The elder of the Matthews brothers, he's a 6'2" senior. As we mentioned in the open, 30 points or more in his first 3 games of the year. Slam jam time for Victor Law. He finally gets his first field goal.
It took long enough, but that's why he's going to Northwestern. He's got ups, bunnies.
So we'll be seeing a lot of him in the coming years in Big Ten play.
And I'm looking forward to it, but not looking forward to playing against him. But he's a very good player. The Gophers, not me personally, but the Gophers.
Yeah, if he played against you personally, it would be heavily one-sided.
Yeah.
It would be like the Monstars from Space Jam.
Monster. Vegas put my odds
100 to 1? What do you think they put the odds on that steal from Forbes? Wow, he came up empty. You got to make those. Jarvis Johnson has a hole, kicks out to Annam. Annam draws the foul on Miles Carter. Will they give him the shooting motion? It appears they will. And Adam, who has scored his last 6 from the free throw line, can keep doing so. Foul is charged to Charles Matthews.
Sometimes the easiest shot is the hardest for people with free throw here. I can't always stand that, you know, Shaquille O'Neal, Andrew Bynum.
Well, you're referring to centers, and centers aren't instructed in the proper shooting motion. Most centers, at least the old school centers, were always taught to bat away, box out, get rebounds, bat the ball to one of your teammates, but not necessarily to get your shooting motion in rhythm. As looks like we have some blood on Annam, and if that's the case, they have to stop it as one of the Wolves athletic trainers, I believe that's Keith Oozpen down there checking on Sakar Annam. Oozpen, one of the trainers for both the Wolves and the Lynx. Now you're seeing more post players with the full shooting artillery. Kevin Love, for example. The running joke is that he only gets putbacks and three-pointers.
But at least they're points, and he's averaging over 25 points a game. I'll take that.
And in the WNBA as well, a lot of post players will go back out. Janelle McCarville hit a few threes this season for the Lynx. In fact, she hit more three-pointers than her former Gopher comrade, Lindsay Whalen. Law, he hits a three-pointer, and St. Rita has evened the score. 38 all with 9:53 left in the second half.
Clutch shot by Vic Law. Couldn't come at a better time. DeLaSalle needs answers. They need just...
Marr, that's going to be too strong. And the rebound by Victor Law. Law on the attack. Finds Preston Forbes. Dominique Matthews, runner, too strong. Charles Matthews with the rebound, but a clean block.
That was a very good block. I thought he got a little hand there, but
we're up here and not making the calls. But that's okay. I'd rather let those guys do it.
Oh yeah, any day.
I get booed off the floor like the Timberwolves fans did after the Wolves-Mavericks game as DeLaSalle calls a timeout with 8:54 left.
That was horrible. I'm talking about the Timberwolves call.
Yes, and officials, yes, they'll make mistakes. It always happens. But to me, had that not taken place, we would not have been treated to an entertaining reaction from Timberwolves radio announcer Alan Horton. And the call that went viral on New Year's Eve. The game was played on the 30th, and right before the new year, Alan was the headline of Twin Cities Sports.
Yeah, I still can't believe the call that wasn't made. And I don't know. Some always has to happen in Minnesota sports. I don't know if we are cursed or what, but
Lynx seem to break it. They've won 2 titles.
Yeah, Lynx are the team right now.
So 8:54 left. DeLaSalle, this is a similar scenario to what played out on Tuesday. They led by 10, and their opponent was able to eliminate that deficit. How does DeLaSalle regain their composure?
They got besides Annam hitting his free throws, I guess if you want to continue to do that all game, but he's really been the only person in the second half to do anything for him, and St. Rita's on a huge run.
Overall, he's the only key contributor in this game, 20 points. And behind him, Crandall with 9, but not much to speak of after that. Do you try to get Jarvis Johnson involved?
Well, excuse me, my mic cut off for a sec. Yeah, he's averaging over 16 points a game, so, they should look to get him involved if he can make it happen. But if he can't, maybe he can find his teammates.
Did you forget to pay your bill this morning? Your microphone energy bill? Crandall is open. Stutter steps, jukes his opponent, can't get it though, and James Lawson, he'll draw the foul on the rebound. That is St. Rita's last to give. So DeLaSalle will be in the bonus for the final 8:40 of regulation.
And that's not good news for St. Rita. The rest 8 minutes, the rest of the game in the bonus.
And Adam has been clutch from the free throw line. I believe he's 8 of 8. Steal on the inbounds pass. St. Rita's wide open. And once again, they leave a point-blank shot short. Victor Law picks it up and puts it in. This time, St. Rita is sent back up, and it pays off. Victor Law gives St. Rita their first lead since 2-0 in the first half.
Great putback by Victor Law. What looked to be like a botched play from St. Rita when they missed the easy layup. And DeLaSalle almost got the rebound, but Victor Law comes out of nowhere and puts it back and gets the foul called plus the basket.
We eliminated offensive rebounds as a stat to watch in the first half, and it's playing out here. Law completes the three-point play. He is up to 8 points after going scoreless in the first 18. And the Mustangs have a 3-point lead over the Islanders. Long cross-court pass. Those are always treacherous. And a foul on St. Rita. That's going to put Gino Crandall at the free throw line 1-1 as St. Rita is in the penalty.
That's all really DeLaSalle's got going for him right now is the free throws. That's their best friend. They keep getting in, it seems like almost every possession because they really can't blow by a defender. St. Rita have locked down the lanes. They're playing really great defense.
But Crandall comes up empty on the front end. And St. Rita got the timeout call before DeLaSalle could force a jump ball, so that stops the clock with 8 minutes and 14 seconds left. We spoke of the connections between DeLaSalle and St. Rita. There's also a connection that DeLaSalle has with the shootout and not just participating in this event. Dave Thorson collaborated with Jeff Munichie, the Vice President of Fan Experience for both the Lynx and the Timberwolves, to help create this T-Wolves shootout, which puts the top teams in the state against nationally ranked teams from around the country. And it's been going on for 18 years. I had the pleasure of witnessing some fine talent last year, including the Apple Valley Cooper game between Tyus Jones and Rashad Vaughn. And this is the most prestigious of the regular season events. The state tournament are always going to draw your locals to come out, but without this event and this platform, this stage, I'm not sure high school sports would have the niche it does in Minnesota.
No, not at all. This is a very good opportunity for players and even the coach to show that they know what they're doing and they can ball. Like we just talked earlier, you know, Travis Reed not being able to, or Reed Travis not being able to play, and you got other players for DeLaSalle, you know, trying to show up that they're worthy of a scholarship from some college and just give me a chance and I'll show you I can play. And that's what I love from DeLaSalle. They got guts, but St. Rita the second half has been theirs. So their players they want to show people that they can play too, especially Victor Law. He's come out in the second half and really kind of not carried the team on his back, but been a very good spark.
Well, he got help from the Matthews brothers early on, and now he is putting in his points. That's going to be a jump ball. Gino Crandall making the play on defense, and DeLaSalle gets the jump ball they were looking for about a minute ago.
Forbes hit the ground pretty hard. He's holding his elbow.
We heard that up here.
Hopefully he's all right.
And that's hardwood flooring, not very forgiving. Maybe a little more forgiving than that old AstroTurf at the Metrodome, which is no longer in use. And the officials are going to have a discussion. It will be DeLaSalle ball, at least we believe. Now the officials head to the scorers table. 7 minutes and 59 seconds left in the second half.
Possession to St. Rita.
And that's why they had the possession arrow favoring the wrong team. So St. Rita will get the ball. A lot of Division I players taking part in today's game, or at least Division I prospects, and several NBA players took part on this very court at the T-Wolves shootout. Dominic Matthews, no, and that's going to be a foul on DeLaSalle. They had 2 to give. Sam Jacobson was one of the first. He played for Park of Cottage Grove in the first event back in 1996. And recent NBA folks include Nate Wolters, the St. Cloud Tech, the Division II player, which is rare but not unprecedented. Remember, Devin George went to Augsburg before embarking on his NBA career.
Nate Wolters is actually the Milwaukee
with the Bucks.
Bucks,
So
good
he's not too
backup.
far from here.
Luke Rittenhauer's leading their point now. Former Wolf.
DeLaSalle getting the steal. Jarvis Johnson handling the ball. DeMarcus Cousins another one. We mentioned Kevin Love. Chris Humphreys took part in this event when he was with Hopkins. Now playing with the Boston Celtics, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Formerly with Brooklyn. DeLaSalle keeps it, 7:15 left.
Only with Kim Kardashian also.
The brief.
Brief, yeah.
Their marriage lasted as long as the production schedule for Schindler's List. But Jeff over there probably knew about that.
Schindler's List, a great movie, might I add.
One of the most iconic. And there's an iconic jumper from Josh Collins. That brings the margin back to 1. And there the coaches are battling in the noise department. Jeff his quip via the written word was 72 days or 72 hours regarding the engagement between Humphreys and Kardashian.
It was probably 72 hours.
It probably was 72 hours. It just took 72 days to sort out. St. Rita with the steal. That's Treston Forbes making the play.
Be passed by DeLaSalle, sloppy.
And this is an intriguing scenario as making the triple is Dominic Matthews. DeLaSalle now trails by 4. They're going to have to push the ball, something they are not accustomed to doing. But Adam with the reverse hit layup. Adam feeling it today, 22. Miles Carter posts up but comes up empty. Rebound, James Lawson. Crandall on the run. Alley-oop time, but he couldn't hook up with Adam.
Almost went Lob City. That was a great thought, but too bad he couldn't bring it down.
And that is an example of why that play is tougher than it looks. You watch the highlights on SportsCenter or the local news, you think it's routine, the players have it in their arsenal and can pull that off at any time. It's not that simple.
I can't even do it when I'm on like an 8-foot hoop or something, when I'm, with a friend. Alley hoops are incredibly hard. It takes timing. You're running basically full sprint down the court, and you got to find your player in motion. With the right pass is really hard timing.
I might be able to set them up. That was James Lawson on the steal. Crandall on the run. 1-on-1. He draws the foul. And that's going to be 2 free throws because it was a shooting foul. And that gives DeLaSalle a chance to tie it up. DeLaSalle looking to stay above 500, and overall, Minnesota teams have lost the last 4 shootout games against out-of-state opponents. Again, that's more of a point of pride than any bearing on section or state seedings, but I'm sure a Minnesota team would love to get a victory against an out-of-state foe.
It's always great to have a victory, especially against top-ranked out-of-state teams. So you want to carry, want to put a good representation of your state.
Crandall splits on the free throws, but a dead ball rebound to the Islanders, so they have a chance to take the lead on this possession.
And Victor Law has checked out the game, so this is a good opportunity. Oh, the bucket.
Jeffrey Dobbinton. That's his first field goal, and the Islanders have the lead, and you pointed it out. Without Law on the floor, DeLaSalle with a prime chance. As Law was warming up, he had 8 points, but they commit the foul. That was their last to give. It will be assessed to the Islanders, and that puts Dominic Matthews at the free throw line. Matthews with 6 points. The 6'2" senior guard.
Dominic Matthews at the line shooting.
Matthews had 9 points, I should say.
That's got to be one proud mother at both her kids going to D1 schools. Both great ball players. That's proud mama. My boys, they probably got scholarships coming from Chicago. You know, it's a rough city.
Depends on where you go. Chicago's a really big city. I should know, I traveled there back in November. Matthews splits, we're tied at 45. Collins losing it on the drive. And what is the ruling we await?
Jump ball, possession, St. Rita.
St. Rita gets the possession via jump ball. I heard Chicago is pretty windy too. It's about to get really cold.
Chicago's a great city. I've been there a few times. But enough of Chicago. Let's go. DeLaSalle.
Key possession here. Jarvis Johnson gets the deflection, but it will stay with St. Rita.
I know commentators are not supposed to be, you know, for one team, but we, you know, it is Minnesota.
You're representing Minnesota. I've got the neutral standpoint, as I usually do. DeLaSalle getting a defensive standpoint. They force the turnover. And if the temperatures hold, I've been informed, and I did read this morning, if the temperatures are as predicted, we would be colder than the surface of Mars this weekend.
That's pretty
Want to take
cold.
a road trip?
Yeah, I've heard they're going to shut down the school on Monday.
Public schools are closed on Monday, but DeLaSalle a private school, so that's going to be up to their staff. If they decide to have school that day, I would commend them for their bravery.
Maybe
I will commend Sakar Adam for that lay-in.
Maybe it depends on how this game goes.
So the entire student population has all their investment in this game, is what you're suggesting.
Yes, if we win, no school.
I would hate to have that pressure on my shoulders. Jarvis Johnson picks up his 4th personal foul, and St. Rita in the bonus, so 1-1 coming for the Mustangs. Dominic Matthews heading to the line. Split on his last trip.
Victor Law is checked in for St. Rita. That's a very good sign for them.
In a very tight game, 47-45. Matthews looking to even it up, but he's short. Rebound, Lawson. Crandall doesn't see an opening, so he backs off. Dobbinton to Lawson, back to Crandall. Collins, Annam with the hot hand, kicks out to Collins. Feeds it to Crandall. St. Rita playing the zone again. 2-2-1. Annam using the dribble. Lawson thought about the three-pointer. But DeLaSalle with a 2-point lead and plenty of time. And they understand that. There's an opening in the lane, but a big block by Miles Carter. Ball still live though. Who's going to get it? Last touch by DeLaSalle, much to the chagrin of Dave Thorson and crew.
What a block by Carter. He's had 3 games this year with 10 blocks or more. He had a 16-block game earlier this season. That he's a shot blocker. That he tossed that ball and get out of here.
Officials having a discussion though. And it will stay with St. Rita. And I appreciate that, the officials conferring. it complicates things a little bit, but since we don't have reviews available, even though we have video coverage, it's good to get that discussion and make sure the call was accurate. But St. Rita has a chance to tie or take the lead with the three-pointer. They opt for the tie, but Matthews can't get it, and they're unable to save it, but scramble for the ball, and Lawson's open for the finish. Victor Law tried to corral it, ends up falling on the floor, and DeLaSalle had an easy layup. They go up by 4. Law on the attack. He's pushed out of the baseline after a double team. Dominic Matthews with the high bank. Matthews with a pretty good floater himself.
Yeah, he's impressed me a lot. He's got some game. Older brother.
49-47, 2.5 in regulation. Dobbinson trying to work around Carter, can't do so, used up his dribble, so he gets out of it with Lawson. Adam close to the half-court line. That can be dangerous, especially on a double team, because that acts as a third defender, but St. Rita backing off. And this is a very intriguing situation. DeLaSalle obviously wants to control clock, and it pays off. They draw the foul, so Adam will shoot free throws, and DeLaSalle in the bonus.
I've been very impressed with DeLaSalle. Would you say coming into this game they were the underdog against St. Rita?
Without Reed Travis, casual fans might say so, but again, they have a lot of talent beyond him, a very deep team, even though they don't play too many players. So to undercut the Islanders just because they don't have a 6'8" post would be
recruit post.
Yes, would be short-sighted. Adam, who has been brilliant from the free throw line, will look to make this a 2-possession game.
And you can see how that big presence inside has, you know, helped St. Rita. They got Carter blocking shots. You know, you wish DeLaSalle could have, you know, Reed in there blocking shots. But hey, get healthy. You need him for the playoffs.
And Reed Travis, not an aberration in his family, as Adam makes both free throws. His older brother Jonah, playing Division I basketball at Harvard, and a couple of years ago made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament. Adam commits the foul against Dominic Matthews, so St. Rita has a chance to make this a 1-possession game with 1:45 left on the clock.
Islanders foul on number 15, Adam, his second.
The foul is the second on Adam. Jarvis Johnson is back on the floor for the Islanders. He has 4, so keep an eye on that player.
Dominic Matthews at the line, shooting 2.
Dominic Matthews with 12 points.
Collins enters for DeLaSalle.
I never noticed, but all the players have the same sneakers on. I didn't know that was always. I always thought, you know, when players would have, like, I got the new Jordans, you know, what do you got? You know, I guess they all got the same shoes now. It's more team.
Some teams opt for uniformity, others opt to individual preference. Dominic Matthews splits there. DeLaSalle with a 3-point lead, but they are in a power position. With the lead, they can afford to eat up time. St. Rita will look to force a steal. Crandall kicks out, and there you see it, Lawson. He goes inside to Johnson, and Johnson draws the blocking foul. Lawson faked them just enough from the perimeter.
And it was a very, very smart play to pass the ball to slashing Jarvis Johnson, and I'll either get the bucket or 2 free throws. Great play by DeLaSalle.
Jarvis Johnson with just 2 points, but one of the highlight players on the Islanders, 16.9 points per game.
Jarvis Johnson could very well be the top point guard in the state next year. Some regard him as that, you know, but you can't live off projections. You got to go out and produce. So,
schools looking at Jarvis Johnson include Minnesota, Iowa State, Penn State, Michigan State, Wisconsin, Cincinnati, Iowa, and Georgia Tech. That is an indicator of how talented he is. He splits, but more importantly, he makes it a 2-possession game. And so that's going to force St. Rita to score quickly on this possession. Law for three, off the heel. Rebound, Crandall, that was big. And Tristan Forbes fouls Gino Crandall. More free throws coming for the Islanders.
Third personal foul.
It's been the picture painted for DeLaSalle in the second half. Second half is just free throws, knock them down. It's basically been a lot of their points.
But their endurance far more effective than on Tuesday when things just fell apart when they couldn't hit a shot from anywhere in the loss to Eden Prairie. DeLaSalle holding it this time after they went down briefly in the second half.
Yeah, very impressive, the bounce back after St. Rita made that run to, tie the game. DeLaSalle looking like the team they were in the first half.
And as we said, likely favorites to win the 3A state championship when Travis returns. And even without him, there's still enough talent they can make a deep run. Dominique Matthews with an acrobatic play. That brings him up to 15 points. 55.5 seconds left. St. Rita calling timeout. They have one left. Let's do a game reset for you. 55.5 on the clock. DeLaSalle leads 54-50. No shot clock in high school basketball here in Minnesota. So St. Rita's going to have to look for a steal, and if they can't get it, they're going to have to foul and play foul and chase. St. Rita and DeLaSalle both in the bonus. DeLaSalle in the double bonus. St. Rita still in the 1-on-1 range, but DeLaSalle in the favorable position here.
Yeah, they're up by 4 with the ball. Just play, possession basketball like they have been. Milk the clock, or they're going to get fouled right away, most likely. And that's, they can get a steal quick. I've seen weirder things happen. They're only down by 4.
Free throws darn near perfect for DeLaSalle. And one reason why they've hung on despite the charge from the Mustangs. And the mood falls silent here at Target Center. Very cordial audience today. But not a lot of students in attendance. Maybe that's why. There's a 10-second rule. Matthews forcing the steal. Gets his own rebound. He's blocked. And a foul is called against St. Rita. I think they were looking for one when Matthews was blocked.
Yeah, I think they
What
were.
a defensive stance.
Yeah, they were looking around. Where's the call at? Got to keep playing ball.
And the Islanders can pad their lead further. James Lawson with 4 points. He averages 9.1 a game.
DeLaSalle's a pretty good free throw shooting team. They all seem like they know how to stroke it from the free throw line, which isn't always the case with some teams.
Lawson splits, but it's a 5-point margin. St. Rita has to push, and they have to do it with little time available. Matthews, that's going to be a traveling violation, and that just might be enough to clinch victory for the Islanders with 32 seconds left.
Collins returns for DeLaSalle.
Jarvis Johnson with the ball. St. Rita was looking for a steal in the backcourt as there is a 10-second rule, but they can't do it. And Gino Crandall will go to the free throw line.
St. Rita foul number 23, Dominic Matthews, his third personal. Crandall at the line, shooting 2.
One more game after this. It's Apple Valley and Blue Valley Northwest. I imagine that's going to draw a considerable crowd with Tyus Jones coming.
Anticipation.
There was a huge crowd last year, although the weather might impact attendance, but any chance fans can get of seeing Tyus Jones play, they usually take advantage of. Crandall splits. It's still a 2-possession game, but it's a 6-point margin. St. Rita would need a couple of threes and some help. DeLaSalle, they don't want to foul, of course. Matthews is going to go for the 2 instead. That comes up short. Rebound Lawson, and that will be enough. The Islanders will end their 2-game losing streak and go to 5-3 on the season. As we mentioned in the open, DeLaSalle losing back-to-back games for the first time in 3 years. That will not be the case today. They will avoid a 3-game losing streak as Jarvis Johnson goes to the line.
Yeah, good showing by DeLaSalle to come out, and they didn't want a 3-game losing streak, regardless if it, this game doesn't count for the division or anything like that. But they wanted to get those 2 losses done at that. L2 done. We W1 now.
3-possession game now as Jarvis Johnson splits, and that will be enough to assure the Islanders a victory. Matthews hits the 3-pointer, but there's not going to be enough time for a comeback as there are 5 seconds left on the clock.
I could have used his stroke a long time ago. He just reminds me a little Tracy McGrady, how his body type is, and he didn't really, show out today's game, but he is very capable of showing out. I've watched a lot of tape on him, and he's a very, good player. He's got several offers as we've talked about, so he's gonna have a bright future.
Adam will have a chance to add to his total, and what a display from him. Clutch from the free throw line in the second half, and he racked up the scoring in a big way today. He'll finish with 28 points.
Very good showing. Some people regard him as one of the top, juniors. He'll be one of the top players next year.
And like we said, without Reed Travis on the floor, Adam getting a chance to highlight his abilities to the Target Center crowd. It almost went in for St. Rita, but it falls short. DeLaSalle hangs on, survives a charge from St. Rita, and they move to 5-3 on the year with a 59-53 win. We'll try to get Jeff Williams for a quick post-game interview, but before we do, let's take a quick look at the final numbers for you. Adam, the game's highest scorer with 28 points, Gino Crandall with 13, Lawson with 5, Josh Collins with 4, Jarvis Johnson with 4. St. Rita led by Dominic Matthews. He finishes with 15. Charles Matthews with 11. Victor Law held to 8 points in the game, and Jeff has one of the St. Rita players on the floor. Let's throw it down to him.
All right, Mike, I'm here with Dominic Matthews from St. Rita. Dominic, you were shut out in the first half, and yet you really came on and dominated in the second. You and Victor Law. What happened at halftime?
Step our game up. We really played a little nervous and timid in the beginning, so we just had to get the jitters out and stuff. But we came out hard, but we got the loss, so I'm not really happy about that right now.
Well, you're never happy about a loss, but tell me about this DeLaSalle team that you played today.
Oh, they were a really good team. Their best player went there, so they still came out real tough against us. They're a really good team.
And here you are on the Target Center court, an NBA arena. Something that you could feel that you can used to?
Oh yeah, hopefully I'll be playing on here soon one day. But it's a much different and bigger court than what I usually play on. But it was a great experience.
And what do you think of the Minnesota weather this weekend?
Oh, it's pretty cold, but it's real cold in Chicago too, so I'm used to it already.
All right, and then is there any you want to say hi to?
I want to say hi to my family over there, and yeah, that's about it.
All right, thank you, and great game today.
Thank you, Jeff Williams. And that concludes our coverage here. Once again, DeLaSalle winning 59-53, and they move to 5-3 on the season. Their 2-game losing streak is over. Coming up, Apple Valley and Blue Valley Northwest in the final game of the 18th annual Timberwolves Shootout. Andrew and I will be here for that one. So we'll see you in about 20 minutes. This is high school basketball. Thank you for watching.